Christian Church down the ages and across the globe must be one of the biggest voluntary organisations that's ever existed.
And volunteering at Bradford Cathedral is plugging into that bigger story.
I've had the privilege for the last few years of working with an awesome team of people.
For many Christians, their volunteering is part of their expression of their faith.
You are making a contribution to what really matters.
And without whom nothing would be possible.
The way in which we welcome visitors from everywhere and anywhere is the essence of showing our Christian faith to others.
And without your help, we couldn't achieve all of the things that we achieve and be as successful as we are.
I work very, very closely with volunteers, and they really are the backbone of the cathedral.
Fantastic group of people who work with such warmth, with such dedication and professionalism and commitment to the cathedral.
The lifeblood of the cathedral, and we just couldn't function as we do without volunteers.
You're always welcome at the cathedral. It's very much your cathedral.
I want to give them a really big thank you because they've done a huge amount.
There's no such phrase as being I'm just a volunteer.
And to be honest, I don't really see myself as a volunteer. I'm simply doing something I love and find extremely satisfying.
This has given me a real sense of purpose and responsibility, and I feel part of the cathedral community.
What better way of sharing and growing in faith than by sharing experiences?
Hello, and thank you for joining us for our Volunteers Week celebration video. Unfortunately, we couldn't do the planned celebration in the cathedral this year, but we hope this video will be a good way to mark this week and the incredible contributions that you all make to Bradford Cathedral. This video will last around 25 minutes and will include thank you messages from members of the teams, some extra volunteering videos looking at flower arranging, children's space and more, plus some photo highlights of volunteering in the cathedral. There will also be a link at the end to see the videos that were created this year that have been debuting each day across social media. We'd like to thank everyone who has sent in thoughts, videos and photos for Volunteers Week, and there will be a special montage of the photos and selfies we received of volunteers with their certificates about halfway through this video. If you would like to share your thoughts about volunteering or have more photos to add in, you can tag us into them on Twitter or Instagram using #VolunteersWeek and @BFD Cathedral, or you can email them to us at info@bradfordcathedral.org. Don't forget that if you're watching this live, you can also use the chat box on Facebook or YouTube to speak to everyone else who is watching along with you. We hope you enjoy this celebration of Volunteers Week, and we begin with a welcome message by the Very Reverend Jerry Lapine, Dean of Bradford.
Welcome to your cathedral. Over the last few months, we've seen a level of volunteering response in this country that we haven't witnessed since World War II. The food deliverers, the phone calls, neighbours reaching out to each other in a street. It tells a story about human beings at their best, embracing generosity and kindness and caring. Volunteers are life-giving. Each small action is part of a much bigger story about being outward-looking, seeking the common good, loving your neighbour. That's what we've been created for. It's our vocation as human beings. And volunteering at Bradford Cathedral is plugging into that bigger story. You are making a contribution to what really matters in life. And people will tell that story after they have visited this sacred place. The work that you do matters not just for this cathedral, but for the people of all ages and backgrounds and nationalities that visit this wonderful cathedral. They experience welcome and warmth and humour and beauty and uplifting worship. The story of an ancient city held within these walls. And hopefully, when they leave, they will leave with their vision for life expanded. Clearly, at this time, cathedrals and churches are still not open. We are awaiting that moment when that new normal of reopening actually happens. I hope that it's going to happen within the next few weeks. Can I assure you that we will be putting in place all the appropriate measures so that when you return to volunteering in this cathedral, it will be to a safe environment. Once again, thank you so much for the gift of your time and being part of the team that enables this cathedral to be such good news. I look forward to welcoming you back in the not too distant future.
Hello everyone, I'm Monica Slocum. I'm one of the church wardens at Bradford Cathedral. I really became involved with the cathedral about 10 years ago, shortly before I finished work with the NHS. And there I had been working with a group of volunteers. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing them grow and develop in confidence as I worked alongside them. Now I'm leading the teams of welcomers. We've got a team on weekdays and another team that do the Sunday afternoons. And I'm also responsible for supporting the hospitality teams. My fellow church warden, Alex McClelland, is responsible for leading the sidespeople and deputy wardens. These teams are the core of our welcome and hospitality at the cathedral, for which we are renowned. The way in which we welcome visitors from everywhere and anywhere is the essence of showing our Christian faith to others. And now it's National Volunteers Week, and it's a real privilege to say thank you to all of you. Every one of you offer your services freely and with genuine enthusiasm. It's a pleasure to work alongside you. Part of my church warden's role is to be a member of the volunteering leadership team, a role I thoroughly enjoy as I'm passionate about helping volunteers get the very best out of their experience when they work with us. When new volunteers ask to join one of our many teams, I usually spend a bit of time with them trying to find out what sort of role they would enjoy. There's a bit of paperwork to do via the cathedral office, and then it's over to me or one of the other team leaders to spend a bit more time with the new volunteer on their first few sessions. It's similar to induction at work, to help you find your way around the building, get to know the staff, and get to know any of the volunteers who may be in the building at that time. And also to know what sort of things you will be doing as a volunteer in a bit more detail. Training on health and safety and safeguarding is also given. For most roles, there's a rota, and I try to fit you in on a day and a time that you would prefer. I'm often in the building, or at the end of the phone or via email, for advice and support for any volunteer. We want our volunteers to be happy, and I hope this series of videos will give you a taste of this. I want to end by saying a really big thank you to all volunteers at Bradford Cathedral, especially to my teams of welcomers and in hospitality, and not forgetting the dedicated teams on Sundays, including the stewards and deputy wardens, who make the church warden's job so much easier. You all do a fabulous job, and always with a smile and a friendly word or two. I hope to see you all again soon.
Hello, I'm Pat Anderson, one of the flower team at Bradford Cathedral. I joined the group in 2016 and found that most of the members had been involved for many years. We work together on a rota to ensure that each week there is at least one fresh pedestal of flowers in the cathedral. The flowers are mostly sponsored by members of the congregation to mark a particular anniversary for a member of the family or a friend. For important church celebrations, we all arrange together, creating various displays around our very special cathedral. We enjoy invaluable mutual support and encouragement and feel very privileged to be involved in this ministry. We are indebted to lots of practical help from the vergers and Sandra and Julie in the office. If you love flowers and would like to find out more, we are always happy to welcome new members.
Hello volunteers. My name's Sarah. I'm the Chief Operations Officer here at Bradford Cathedral. As you can see right now, I'm not in our lovely cathedral. The COVID-19 situation means that all of us, our staff, our clergy, and you, our volunteers, aren't able to be there right now. That doesn't mean we've forgotten about you. I just wanted to take a few minutes and say thank you. Let you know that we really do appreciate all of the hard work that you put in and all of the time that you give so generously. And without your help, we couldn't achieve all of the things that we achieve and be as successful as we are. So I just wanted to say thank you. We really appreciate you.
Hello. My name's Mandy. I'm one of the residentiary canons here at Bradford Cathedral. This week we celebrate Volunteers Week. I've had the privilege for the last few years of working with an awesome team of people, and without whom nothing would be possible. Whether you're a bell ringer, a flower arranger, you help with the music, you serve those who walk through the door with a warm smile and often a cup of tea, who help to keep our beautiful gardens. There are so many jobs. For some of you, helping us to make policies to make this a safer and better place to work. So many people to say thank you to. You make this place special. Thank you. I can't wait to the moment when we can all be together again. But for now, you are very much in my thoughts and in my prayers. Once again, thank you. Thank you for being you and for being part of the awesome place that is Bradford Cathedral.
Hello, my name is Maggie Myers and I'm the Director of Education and Visitors at Bradford Cathedral. I work very, very closely with volunteers and they really are the backbone of the cathedral, the lifeblood of the cathedral, and we just couldn't function as we do without volunteers. It's really, really important that we recognise the commitment and the generosity of our volunteers, and it's obviously that's why it's so important to celebrate and to mark National Volunteer Week, because we just couldn't do it without you. In my education work, I work very closely with the education volunteers, obviously, and we have had people who have done that job for many years and have moved on, and we're really, really grateful for everything that they did. I obviously now work very, very closely with Mike and Elaine de Villiers, who give so much of their time to the cathedral and are so generous in what they do for us in education. Education, we function as a team, paid staff and volunteers. We work together, we work very closely together, and it couldn't work as well as it does without the work of the education volunteers who get stuck in and do everything that we do. And just that whole hive of activity that we have in education is made up of the fact that we have that mixture of paid staff and volunteers who just provide that energy and that liveliness that just keeps the whole thing moving. So I'd like to thank anybody who's volunteered in education over the years, and I know that there are many of you that still volunteer in other capacities in the cathedral that have volunteered in education in the past, and we're so grateful for your contribution. And we're so grateful for the contribution of the education volunteers like Mike and Elaine that are helping us at the moment. And we've got a few new people that are joining us. So I'm very, very excited about what that will allow us to do, because we are growing in education and we can't expand much further without more volunteers to help us. So it's great we've got some new people to help us, as well as Mike and Elaine. We couldn't do without you, Mike and Elaine. I also work really closely with other volunteers as I go back and forth in the cathedral and I do my visitor role. Obviously, I spend time with many of the welcomers and with the people who help me with the guided tours and do the volunteers that help with the faith trail and the community groups as well. People that volunteer to run our community groups. We're so lucky that we have such talented people at the cathedral who give of their time so generously each week without fail, and that bring with them a real group of people around them. And you can just tell when I go into the different groups, if I go across to carers or when I'm here when the stitches are on and when the faith trail is on, and with the other groups that take place. Very rarely in on a Friday. I don't work normally on a Friday, but when I am in on a Friday, the energy comes from that comes from the toddler group as well. Just this marvellous rhythm of life that goes on at the cathedral, which a large part is really comes from the volunteers who just provide that pattern and that rhythm of life, and just the chatter and the positivity and the cheerfulness that really lifts you as you walk back and forwards through the cathedral. For our welcomers, there are great periods of time where they are sitting in the cathedral and they may be doing other things. They may be helping out with other jobs that need doing as well. And there may be times when there are not many visitors in the cathedral. But it's so important that when a visitor comes in, there is somebody there, somebody friendly, somebody knowledgeable, somebody who loves that, this building that we all love so much, and that can really interpret that for the visitor that's coming in. Part of my job is to go through the visitor feedback and the visitor comments and the countless number of comments that we have in the visitors book about the warmth of the welcome and about the generosity of the welcomers in giving up their time to tell people about different things in the cathedral, and about the people who help with hospitality. That's very, very often mentioned in our visitors book. The generosity, the warmth of the welcome from the hospitality. That's something I really noticed working at Bradford Cathedral, the hospitality that's offered. And it just makes for, my job is joyous. It's just wonderful because I work with such generous people and I work with people who love the cathedral, and that's what it's all about. We all love the cathedral and we all want to see it thrive, and it absolutely does that because of the work of our volunteers. So I'm really glad I've got this opportunity I'm sorry I'm rabbiting on, but I'm really glad I've got this opportunity to thank you all, and I'm really sorry if there are people that I haven't thanked. My life is also made so much brighter by the flower arrangers. I love when I walk in the morning and the flowers lift my spirits, and our visitors often comment on the flowers. And so just all these things that people are doing, playing their part in making the life of the cathedral just be so wonderful. So thank you very much. Enjoy the acknowledgement that this comes with, that National Volunteers Week comes with, that we do appreciate you and we do thank you for all of your efforts, and we hope that we can continue to work together for many years to come. Thank you very much.
Christian church down the ages and across the globe must be one of the biggest voluntary organisations that's ever existed. For many Christians, their volunteering is part of their expression of their faith. It's part of their discipleship. It's part of their worship. It's part of their ministry. I have the privilege at Bradford Cathedral to oversee our worship. This is simply something that can't be done without the voluntary ministry of many, many people. Every time we worship on a Sunday, a great host of volunteers are involved, both beforehand, during and afterwards. There are flower arrangers, bell ringers, vergers, sacristans, servers, singers, chalice assistants, stewards, welcomers, readers, intercessors, those who organise children's space, those who serve refreshments, those who keep us safe, and those who pray, amongst many others. In this Volunteers Week, I want to acknowledge the dedication of all the many, many volunteers who make worship at Bradford Cathedral the important and central activity that it rightly is. Thank you. Jesus said, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." I pray that that may be true for all who voluntarily minister at the cathedral. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's David Worsley. I'm the head verger at Bradford Cathedral. I work with and manage the servers and vergers teams, a fantastic group of people who work with such warmth, with such dedication and professionalism and commitment to the cathedral. They are very, very special people indeed. So this Volunteers Week, we're just saying an enormous thank you to them and all the volunteers at the cathedral who spend their time so generously with us. We can't wait for everybody to come back together again and all be together in the cathedral. But until then, thank you so much, and we really hope to see you soon. Take care.
Just a big shout out to all our wonderful volunteers from the Page Primary School. You've done some wonderful work for the cathedral this year. Thank you very much. We're really missing you, and we're looking forward to seeing you again in September, Year 5. Year 6, we know you're moving on to new schools, but we're sure you're going to have a fantastic time when you get there. Remember, do come back and visit us. You're always welcome at the cathedral. It's very much your cathedral. Thank you, LePage, and we'll see you again soon.
Hello, my name's Jill Wright, and I coordinate the group that's called Stitches at Bradford Cathedral. And in Volunteers Week, I want to give them a really big thank you because they've done a huge amount. The group started to complete the major textiles project that was begun some years ago. There were 7 large canvas work kneelers that needed finishing. It was begun by a small group of their friends, but it grew fast. And over 4 years, men, women and children met every 2 weeks. A list of about 100 people is now in the book. Some of them were experienced, but there were lots of complete beginners. And we were delighted that the work was completed in time for the cathedral's centenary in 2019. The core group is of about 35 stitches who meet regularly, and when it became clear that we were finishing the original project, the cry went up, "What next?" So we looked around to see what else there was to do, and there's plenty. We were now working on kneelers for St Aidan's Chapel. They were designed in-house, and the materials for them were given by a generous anonymous donor. Polly Maynell designed the original textiles project, and she was commissioned by the Cathedral chapter to produce extra pieces for the sanctuary and also kneelers for the Lady Chapel, which will complement the William Morris altar frontal. It's a fabulous group. We have a really good time. We care for each other a lot. And whether you're experienced or you've never done anything before like this, you'll be more than welcome. We look forward to seeing you when we can meet again.
Hi, I'm Emma and I'd like to tell you about my volunteering at Bradford Cathedral this Volunteers Week. I've been involved with the Eco Group at Bradford Cathedral since it started in 2007 when a group of us got together to encourage each other to live more sustainable lifestyles and help others to do the same. It's been a great opportunity to meet a lot of new people and get involved in a variety of projects such as hosting fair trade breakfasts, planting trees and getting solar panels on the roof. We were able to get 3 Eco-Congregation awards from this, and it's really great to know we're making a difference and helping God's creation. On a Sunday morning, you're likely to see me walking up the aisle with a number of children towards communion rail after our Sunday school lesson. Our Sunday school is called Children's Space, and we have all ages in together, so the children are used to working together with children of different ages, and it's a real family feel. We have a small team of dedicated volunteers who are all DBS checked and have a real heart for children. I got involved when my children were small, and now I've been leading it for about 5 years. I really enjoy coming up with creative ideas of how to teach the Bible, with crafts, games, interactive storytelling and songs. We're always looking forward to meeting new families and welcoming them on board.
I'm Elaine de Villiers, and I'm a volunteer who helps the leaders of Children's Space. Our time for children to have their own learning during the morning Eucharist. I've been volunteering in this way for about 8 years, and it is lovely to watch the children grow and learn about the Christian faith. I help with the craft activities, play with the very little ones, and serve a snack, always important. Volunteering in Children's Space is one way for me to help the children know that they are part of the Cathedral family, and I enjoy being part of this small team. You could learn more about being a volunteer, like helping with Children's Space, during this National Volunteers Week.